love that I've been keeping. Maybe you can put the music to my song. Oh, and if they say convenience could make a big difference, then you can trust me. I know just where you should be. And that is JP Mega, 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 Mega. The one-stop shopping, Dominica, nigga. You could be shopping and having fun with your daughter or with your son. We get up to everyone. What a happy place, happy place. Oh, JP Mega, 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 Mega. The one-stop shopping, Dominica, nigga. You could be shopping and having fun. Bring Papa and Mama along. We get that to everyone. What a happy place, happy place. Oh, what a happy place. Purchase 6 or more of any item and you automatically qualify for a discount. Check us out at the Mega Store in Funkole where there's lots of parking. On Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And on Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. JP Mega, the best family shopping experience. Who say health cannot have vibes? Well, Jolly's Pharmacy is proving you otherwise. With Health Vibes, every Wednesday morning on Q95 from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Health Vibes, education, information, and a bit of humor. And not forgetting lots of vibes. Hosted by Carlton Lango with co-hosts Jacinta Fagan Defo and Trudy Kristen. Jolly's Pharmacy is bringing health and vibes together every Wednesday, so be sure to tune in. Health Vibes every Wednesday on Q95 from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
A pleasant good morning to you. You might be wondering, but where are my people? Where are my Health Vibes crew? We are here. Yes, it is a sort of gloomy day on the outside, although the sun looks like it wants to do a little something, but then it is a bit gloomy. I was told that there is something in the air, in the environment. And so we expect, as we are in the rainy season and the hurricane season, that we will have at times, changes in our climate. So this morning, it is a pleasure being here with you for yet another episode of Health Vibes, brought to you by the brand you trust the most, Jolly's Pharmacy. My beautiful co-host, decked in her African apparel. I love it. I really love it. Trudy, good morning. And my mother say good morning to beautiful Trudy.
Good morning to you, Carlton. Good morning to the listeners of Q95 FM Radio, our Health Vibes listeners, our fans. Good morning to all of you all. Yes, Carlton, it's a rainy day. It is a stormy day. We had some thunder and lightning this morning. Yes. We had some electricity cuts already for the morning, and yes, it's that type of day, but of course it's the hurricane season, so we expect periods of that sort of weather. We're just happy it's not more serious and that July is ending today, and July we've been in the clear as it relates to major storms. So we just hope and pray that August is similarly nice to us here in the Nature Isle.
Very true. And we are saying good morning to our viewers online.
Yes.
We're live on the Facebook page. That is the QFM Facebook page.
Correct.
And also the YouTube channel as well of QFM. And we're there every Wednesday morning. So if you're wondering, but who are these people? I want to see what they look like. You have the opportunity to do so. To many of our fans throughout the region and the world by extension, up to yesterday, 2 ladies from Maho came to visit me. They live in the US, and they say they listen to us all the time, every Wednesday. And they wanted to really put a face to the voice, and they came to see me. And so I can't remember their names, but good morning to you ladies if you're listening. And so the fan base is very large.
Yes, Carlton, and it's an interesting thing when people possibly know your voice but don't know your face. So it has happened to me too a few times where I am somewhere and somebody hears the voice and say, oh, but I know that voice from the radio. And then they try to match the face that they now see into the
Yes.
voice that they know. So, for instance, it happened to me at H. Charles, a lady who listens to the show regularly.
Yes.
When she heard me speak, she said, "Oh, you're the one on Health Vibes."
Yes.
So, good morning to all our listeners who maybe have never been our viewers, but as Carlton said, you can view the show as well on YouTube and on Facebook, so you can get a chance to match the face without you having to do so by surprise
That's
when
true.
you see us somewhere and oh, that's the voice. Yes.
Oftentimes, people have this perception of me that I'm tall,
Okay.
that I'm dark, and that I am older.
Papa.
Yes, I've always gotten that. And when they do see me, particularly, the elderlies, female ladies,
Uh-huh.
they would say, "Oh my God, you're Belga sound." Oh, and they would always say to me, "Oh, you're so handsome." And I thought we were like tall and black, and so it shows that a perception is formed. But I always get the view that you are as polite as you sound, you are as friendly as you sound, and that
Okay.
warms my heart. That that even by listening to me, you can almost get a perception or feel as to my personality and the things that I care so deeply for. But this morning we were supposed to be delivering on a topic, a very hot topic, but we've decided to put that topic for a subsequent
A show.
show
Yes.
because we expecting an expert to be as part of our panel for that topic. So we will put it on pause until he is available to join us. We were expecting him here today, but today is a very busy day for him, and so he could not have been in studio with us. And so this morning, it gives you and it gives us an opportunity to interact with you in a very fluid manner. So we are expecting you to call. Maybe you want to ask a question relating to health and wellness. Maybe you want to suggest, maybe we talk on something for a few minutes, something that might be, of importance to you as it relates to health and wellness. And so we're giving you that opportunity. Oftentimes, we always seem to have a packed show with guests and a specific topic. And so then when you do call, we might say to you, well, we're discussing this particular topic today. So maybe feel free to call back in another time. But today we give you that opportunity.
Yes, and even Carlton, sometimes we see callers trying to get us on a
Yes.
particular show, on a particular topic, but we just kind of take all the calls.
Yes.
We may be pressed for time, or our guest maybe is going through the information that they came to deliver, and we kind of take all the calls that we would like to. So today is also the opportunity, if you maybe were listening to Health Vibes sometime in the past,
Yes.
and we were discussing a particular topic and you really wanted to intervene on that particular topic, but you did not get the opportunity, today is also the chance to bring back a topic from the past and let us know what your views were at that time.
But truly, let me just start the bat by saying too that the budget was held, was launched or was delivered
Yes.
on Friday of last week.
Yes.
Yes, last week Friday. And I have not really taken time to maybe listen to it in its entirety. But I heard on the DBS news that the government again is increasing the fees
the tax on sugary
sugary
drinks.
beverages, yes, which includes alcoholic drinks and
Yeah.
spirits and tobacco.
Yes, so
as
there's
well.
two separate things. So there's the tax on the sugary beverages, the soft drinks,
Yes.
and then there's a 75% or 75%. I cannot
yes.
remember precisely, on tobacco and alcohol.
Yes.
So two separate measures, but get towards healthier lifestyle choices.
That's it.
And it's something that has happened in the past.
It
This is
has
not the
it has
first
happened.
time
Yes.
we've heard of a tax levied on so-called unhealthy
Hmm.
items, and people have mixed views on the
Hmm.
utility
Hmm.
of such a measure. It's interesting. Some people feel it's, it's punitive in nature and it won't work. Other people feel that punitive is how we should go to make things work.
Hmm.
So people have a lot of different views on this particular approach to improving healthy choices, which is what it's geared to do.
I was having a discussion with someone, and they were saying, well, yes, that still is not going to avoid or prevent the
Prevent people.
consumer
Hmm.
from purchasing the item if they choose to purchase it. But what they would love to see is that we see uh, greater cuts in terms of the options of healthier
Healthy foods.
foods.
Yeah.
But we are seeing the spike of healthier foods getting higher and higher. And we're talking about reduction of CNCDs.
Hmm.
But at the same time, too, the foods that are healthier for us, consumers cannot purchase them.
Right.
And why not make these foods tax free or with limited tax that all of us would be able to buy these foods and feed our family? Because the foods that are tax exempt, the rice, the flour, especially white flour, these are certainly foods that are causing havocs for us, particularly the way that they're consumed. Many consumers are not paying much attention to food portions and even serving sizes
Hmm.
and all of that. So the education is still there. The
Hmm.
other flip side too is that yes, we're talking about trying to put more taxes on sweetened beverages and tobacco and alcohol, yet still we've not made any policies relating, very little policies have been amended relating to the glorification or advertising of these products.
Mm.
See?
Well,
So it's a flip side. So, yes, you might say, well, it's again the consumer's choice to choose what they will consume. But at the same time, too, if you are seriously looking at um, optimizing our general health and wellness here in Dominica by modifying our nutritional habits, by encouraging our populace to make more informed decisions as to the type of foods that they're going to consume, then we need to see the tangible regulations and policies being made amended to be able to foster um, greater um, adherence to good nutritional habits. So that is another thing that we're seeing. A lot of these, for example, you want a healthier alternative of oil. We've all been told that vegetable oils and all of these oils, most of these oils are not the better
mm,
options for us. They increase our risk to cardiovascular diseases. Yet still, the average home, that is the oil
you
that
can
they
afford it.
can afford. How many people can afford almond oil or olive oil
Hmm.
or I think they have some other alternatives or walnut oil, which are the better oils. Why not? If all of these oils can be reduced, we can make it more attractive for consumers to be able to purchase them, and at the same time to we would see a reduction in obesity, a reduction in malnutrition, because a lot of people think that malnutrition is being extremely mager or mega. But malnutrition is actually obesity is also a form of
Hmm.
malnutrition because it means that your body is not getting the optimized amount of foods. But we know that there are other factors to
Hmm.
obesity besides just nutrition. But we've also seen a spike in the type of foods that are consumed in the home and why they are and how they contribute to our general health and wellness. So that is something that I believe our government should be looking for.
Definitely.
Recently, I was in Matnik,
Mm-hmm.
and the French people are not very fat. You don't see many fat people or obese people in Matnik in particular, where I was. I don't know for Guadeloupe. But what I recognize too is the healthier foods. They are big on these things. Like you couldn't even get you cannot you can hardly get petroleum jelly, Vaseline, as we call
Mm-hmm.
Vaseline, in Matnik. That they sort of put in a ban on those petroleum products
Mm-hmm.
and paraffin products and lanolin products. You can hardly get a deodorant that contains aluminum. They're moving away from all of these products and they're getting the healthier way. So I was surprised because I was saying, in local terms, and people always say, oh, that's why the French, they have a high perspiration smell. But I now found out is that they keep themselves clean, but they just use deodorants versus antiperspirants because
Mm.
they don't use anything with aluminum. And when I spoke to, because I was at a trade fair, I was really totally blown away how advanced they are, particularly relating to adapting and adopting healthier lifestyle practices because they do know that they have a very, very high prevalence of cancer in their
Mm.
country. And so now they're doing everything in their power to help to reduce these numbers. So if you have a view on
Yes.
this particular area, the taxes that has been increased on sweetened beverages and alcohol and tobacco, and the flip side, we're seeing inflation, we're seeing high increase in the healthier options of foods. Sometimes you go to get broccoli in I love broccoli, by the way. You go to get broccoli in the supermarket and it's almost like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like you have to ration. Boys, look at the cost of the broccoli. Or you go to buy, um, you look at evaporated milk versus coconut milk. A
Okay.
can of coconut milk is going to cost you about $8 and change. A can of evaporated milk going to cost you about $3 and change. Now, coconut milk is the preferred
Yeah.
choice. But how, if you have a family of 6 or 7, how can you really buy coconut milk
Or
as
the
the
other
preferred choice
alternatives
or the
like almond
alternatives?
milk. Yeah.
You know, so if you have, you may want to comment on that. Feel free. We missed, I think, one
Yeah.
or
We
two
missed we
calls,
missed a few
but let me
callers.
just give the numbers again. They're 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097, 616-4257. And of course, you are welcome to call from overseas. If you reside outside of Dominica, that number is 305-432-9624. These are the numbers that you can reach us and you can actually make your opinion known. Or if you choose to talk about something else, we have a free line this morning. Sorry. We have a free line this morning and we're giving you the opportunity to have your say. We are giving you the opportunity to have your say.
Yes.
So that is one of the areas that came up. But one of the other
Carter,
crucial, yes,
uh-huh. No, I was going to just to say
yes,
in everything that you've said as it relates to eating and making healthier choices, there's also the culture aspect that we cannot
that's true.
avoid. So different people have different cultural practices, and in Dominica, maybe the things that are culturally normal,
Mhm.
tend to be some of the unhealthy items.
That's true.
Yes.
I see we have a
Let's take this
caller.
caller.
A
Call.
pleasant good morning to you, caller. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Some
Good
time ago,
morning.
you always supposed to have some, I think, symposium. I even forget what the name of the topic, some hot topic,
The sex
whereby
symposium.
persons have to be 18 years and over. And then I haven't heard anything again. Is that a dead topic?
It isn't a dead topic.
And can you remember what it is? I can't even remember what it is. Right?
It was a sex.
18 years and over.
Yeah, it was a sex symposium.
Right.
We had to initially at the time when we advertised it and we were going to do it, is at the time we had the major
Load shedding.
load shedding that was happening, and the venue we were planning to use did not have generators, and so we had to
Okay.
postpone it until the electricity situation came about. And then shortly, that was just before Christmas.
Mhm.
It was around October thereabout, because we were planning it for Caribbean Wellness a
In
month, right?
September.
And then we had the independence season, which became very, buzzy. Then we had Carnival, but it is something that we are still looking into. We've seen the relevance for it. And the other thing too, we did not, the numbers that we were anticipated, it wasn't very favorable. So we had gotten
Okay.
just about like an average of 12 people that had registered. And so it wasn't, the quantity wasn't big enough for that
Okay.
symposium. So it's something that we still have on the calendar. um if people are really really excited about it and want it done, we will get it, because we had the experts lined up already,
Yes.
that were all excited to present at that. And we also have to look at, too, when we do these things, it comes with a cost. And if we recognize that the overhead supersedes the expenditure, the income that you're going to make, which is practically nothing, you have to pay rent, you have to pay the speakers, give them a stipend or something, and we recognize we were not going to make anything. It was going to be a loss. So we had to put it on. We had to postpone it, but it's not taken off from our calendar.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Welcome.
Yeah, but I notice, I mean, the memory is still there.
That's it. So
and
it's
people
something,
must
yeah,
be still interested. So we definitely
you
need
have
to,
to review.
see if
Awesome.
it can be pulled off.
Yes. And we still have some time.
Mm-hmm.
There was something I was going to say. Yes, I was going to talk a little about food labels.
Mm.
And there is a dire need for training and education of food labels. And it is something that I believe that all of us who are in health promotion can embark on. But more specifically, the health promotion unit, I believe it's an area that the nutritionist who is part of that unit really need to pay and to really do some good work. I mean, we need to see more videos. We are in the time of Facebook
Mm.
and Instagram, and videos go viral, where you could just sit, you have some common foods via there. You can do something and have those videos shared, because a lot of us just take things. You like Fruta, you buy a big bottle of Fruta, 500 milliliter, and you're drinking that Fruta, um,
The whole thing, and
the
it
whole
says
thing of Fruta,
2 serving sizes on it.
and that same 500 milliliter is saying
Yeah.
actually 4 servings,
Mm.
because 500, yeah, because each serving is 250 milliliters.
Two servings it is. The 500 is 250 a serving.
Oh yes,
So
yeah,
that's
right,
two
right,
servings in the
I'm talking
bottle.
about the 750,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
Yeah, so you have to look at that, because it's and people don't, we don't look at each serving, how much sugar it contains. Okay, so you consuming the entire box, you're actually consuming for 2 people.
Mm.
So that each serving, if it's 28 grams of sugar, you multiply that by 2, and you see the amount of sugar that you're consuming. And you might enjoy that fruit so bad and say, tonight I'm going to have another one. And you see the amount of sugar that you've consumed.
Wow.
So I think we need more education
And more promotion of how to read
and
food labels.
That's it.
I mean, I have seen attempts. I know it's difficult. Carlton, you mentioned about videos going viral, which is true. But we will see often that positive content never goes viral. Educational things tend to not go viral.
It's true.
But it's the salacious things, the beef that tend to go viral. But I agree there could be more effort made at some of those things. But I can imagine sometimes it's maybe a little disheartening if you try to put out something and people not even really paying attention, but something negative they would grasp onto it. So maybe even trying other means of educating
Maybe
people.
collaborating with
Yes,
local
yeah,
celebrities,
trying to get maybe into what is the trendy
influencers.
stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, the trendy stuff to bring out the message.
We
Yes,
have
we
a
have a
call.
caller.
Good morning to you, caller. Thanks for calling. We've lost the caller. Feel free to call back. Sorry about that. We were just actually ending our sentence. The numbers are 449-3095, 3096, 3097, and 616-4257. Let's take this caller. Good morning to you, caller.
That's the best way because you're wasting my money. Good morning to my special. Good morning to the ladies first.
Good morning. Good morning.
And good morning to one of my favorites.
Good morning,
How
Miss
are you?
Lucille. I am doing quite well. I'm doing well. Are you enjoying your retirement enjoying the nice weather this morning?
And the weather not nice. So I was going to wash and I'm hearing chair pulling upstairs and I'm afraid of what is pulling the chair upstairs.
Oh, I am so sorry. Yes.
A big lady like me, I'm afraid of thunder and lightning. I'm not ashamed to
There are
say
some
that.
people who are, you know. My dog
So
is
you good
actually
otherwise?
yes, I'm doing quite well. My dog is traumatized by lightning and
by
thunder.
thunder.
Yes, it is.
I know my Gemma is okay. I know you are okay.
Thank you, my darling. Yes, Gemma is fine. You know Gemma.
I saw her yesterday.
Okay, awesome.
Something I wanted to ask you. I heard you spoke about petroleum jelly, the nice petroleum jelly of before.
Mm-hmm.
Does petroleum jelly expire?
Right now, I would say no. But right now, for commercial policies, they are putting expiry date on almost every product. Can you imagine? Soaps have expiry dates now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I bought this big bottle quite some time when I started, not started, in the middle of my time of traveling because I go up and down a lot while I was in hospital.
Mm-hmm.
But I still have one of the big bottles there.
Yes, you can still
So
use
it
it.
means I can use it
Yes,
when
you
I'm
can.
eating off and on.
Yes, of course. I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, because it has, first thing I usually look on everything is expiry date. It has no expiry date.
Mm-hmm. No, so it should be good.
Yeah.
It should be good.
Anyway, take
Take
care.
care, my darling. Thank you so much for
Have a
calling.
nice day.
You too. Take care, Miss
Yeah.
Lucille.
God bless.
Yes, ma'am. We have a next caller. Good morning to you, caller. Thanks for calling.
Yes, Carlton.
Good morning to you, sir.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning, fitting topic this morning because that economy there, I know it's not bright and creamy. As everybody's saying about bright and creamy, and I know you know it's not bright and creamy. All the good things expensive, all the bad things cheap. $100 and then to put a cooks and put sour soup for $3. You understand?
Yes.
You see, what they call that again? That other nonsense. The Tobo put it for $500 for a pack of Tobo and put guava and these things, the pineapple and oranges, grapefruit when they come back in season, put them for $1. That is what? Because it's not bright and creamy in that hard guava season. Good morning.
Good morning. Good point. And again, people advocating for the healthier foods to be more affordable so that at least we can see a reduction in diabetes, in hypertension, in high cholesterol that leads to circulatory problems, that leads to impotence, that leads to heart attacks and strokes. We can see a reduction in these numbers because when you look at the people might come back again to salaries. You look at the salary of, let us say, a teacher, right? What do you call them? A certified teacher?
Trained teacher.
A trained teacher. So look at it. Let's say you look at the I don't know what the salary of a trained teacher is like. What $2,000, $2,500,
Depending on what level.
depending on the level. So it could be about there 2,000, 2,500, right? And let's say that teacher is paying a mortgage. That teacher has a child in university. That teacher has utility bills to pay. That teacher may even want to do a bachelor's degree online. So you think of it, and that teacher has to buy groceries, and we have a smaller child in primary school. So, and that teacher doesn't have the opportunity to have a second job.
Mm.
So think of it.
Yeah. Carlton, it's a that the economy and that discussion is very difficult. As people see the high inflation, people are making difficult choices, and grocery shopping is one of the difficult choices people have to make in terms of how can I save on the items that I buy, how can I be more economical in how I eat. And that is where this discussion that we're having is coming in, as to if you want to make economical choices with eating, are the healthy choices the economical ones to make? And oftentimes they are not. And I hate to hear people say actually that it's simple or easy to eat healthily, because it is really not. People say it's often, I haven't heard that comment yet, but people say often, oh, it's the nature aisle and you can get vegetables and thing all the time. But people also want variety. People also want, to be interested in what they eat. And it is very, very true that if you do want variety, it is not cheap to do so. So if every day you want to eat a healthy fish a meal, for instance, fish is not cheap. You might
That's
want
it.
you might want to have dolphin, you might want to have whatever, you might
Mhm.
want to buy tuna or sardines. A can of sardine these days is what price?
$5.
Right.
I
So
don't even buy
you
it.
know,
I hardly buy
so
it now
so
because it's just
honest
crazy.
honestly, the economics of
Mhm.
healthy eating is a big, big, big deal.
Mhm. Let's take this call. Good morning to you, caller. Thanks for calling.
Hello, good morning, Judy and Carlson. How are you?
Good
We're doing quite
morning.
well. Good morning.
Let me tell you this thing about increasing whatever rate on sugar rate. Carlson and Judy is not just like that, What I'm saying, when you do that, there's something else to go with that. You have to increase the salary, Carlton and Judy.
Mhm.
Let us be fair. When you look at Dominica now, Carlton, the salary getting is not enough. If you have a mortgage, time you pay that mortgage, Carlton, you don't have money.
It's true. Yes.
After you pay your mortgage, you don't have money.
Mhm.
After that mortgage, you have to pay your bills, you have to pay light, you have to send your child to school. Carlton, how you going to eat properly?
Mhm.
You trying a pound of fish, $10.
Mhm.
If you're alone living in your house, Carlton, you'll buy your fish $10. If you have
Mhm.
3, 4 children, are you buying fish $10?
True.
Let somebody tell me, though, are you buying the fish? You
True.
can't buy the fish. You want to eat a local, you want to drink a local. Well, I personally, at my home, I don't drink it, but I have a son, but it's only local juice I do.
Mhm.
But what I'm saying, I'm talking general. A sour soup is $5, $7. For passion fruit, I'm Carlton and Judy. $5. You understand? A little pack of growth for the last, another money again. Tell me how you go. You trying, but it cannot work. So with that, you have to put something else in that. Increase the pay. There are some people that not even working. It's from hand to mouth. You understand that? Some people can afford it, but the majority cannot afford it.
Mhm.
Carlton and Judy, the middle class has disappeared. I'm talking, I know, I'm retired, but I
Mhm.
know what I'm saying. The middle class has disappeared because things are tight. I mean, people say, yes, try to live within your means. You cannot even cope with whatever you live within your means. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So with that, yes, but you have to add something to that for it to really see any progress. Something else. The salary need to be increased. No joke about. And then more people need to be employed. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So we must be fair and look at this thing holistically. Don't
Right.
just
Right.
come on one thing and the other thing is even the local chicken. When you go to buy the local chicken is expensive.
Yeah, much more
Mhm. It's
When I
expensive
true.
go buy
than.
just to buy the local chicken is
It is.
expensive. Look at it.
It's true.
So a person that cannot afford won't buy local chicken. They'll maybe go and buy the other chicken that cheaper, where it can share with food with their children.
Yeah.
All that has to be taken into consideration, man. People just saying things, try do this. Yes, you want to be healthy, but sometimes I mean it's tough. Good morning.
Thank you,
Morning.
caller.
Yes.
And those are the realities, because even for me, I sat down last night and I'm saying to my wife that, I sometimes wish I will in another country that I could have another job, because one job these days with one salary,
Mhm.
someone might say your salary is big, but then you have your commitments, and it's like you're sitting down and you're thinking of what else I can do to
Well,
make money.
well, I'm
What
a big
else?
advocate for that. Yeah,
What
Carlton.
else? But then even in my industry,
Hmm.
as a pharmacist, it would be conflict of interest for me to go and work, let's say,
Yeah, you
at
cannot
another
do at
pharmacy,
another pharmacy,
for
but
a couple of hours. But if I went Trinidad
mhm,
or a bigger country, Jamaica, I might be able to do
to
that.
do it.
But so, but because I'm in Dominica, I'm working in a company, I'm in management, then it would be conflict of interest for me to do that, and I
Right.
know I can make good money doing it. So sometimes you sit down and you have to think, and the options are so limited, particularly in Dominica. The options are limited, and as the caller was saying, everybody wants to at least own a house. You want to leave something for your children, but it's a huge sacrifice.
Mm.
Let's take this caller. Good morning to you, caller. Thanks for calling. Good morning, caller.
Yes, Carlton, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning to your co-host.
Good morning.
Carlton, living healthy is very expensive, especially when you're living in a country that don't have price control. Take for instance, you live in a village that have like 6 supermarkets,
Mm-hmm.
and you go and buy a pound of rice or a pound of sugar, and every one of the supermarket have a different price. Take for instance, you might buy a pound of rice in one supermarket for 250, the other one have it for 325. Where they get the price and they buy the sugar the same place.
You there?
I think
Yeah,
we
I
lost.
think I think we lost him.
But yeah, price
Yes.
control is another serious issue,
Mhm.
because you see it even in terms of agricultural produce, how
Yes.
people are raising prices on things that maybe had very little input for production,
Of course.
and so you're wondering what caused the increase in price. Well, you can say it's the pass on of the cost of, let's say, transportation or the other cost that the person has to bear. But some of the increases sometimes seem so, for want of let me use a colloquial term, Vicky Vice, like, we
Yes.
just decided we just put that up by $5. Like,
Mhm.
how was that calculated? So price control is definitely an issue, and we see it in Dominica for sure, where you see prices for items not regulated in terms of supermarket prices, but just items vendors are selling on the road. You see the increase in price, and sometimes you wonder what's changed about being able to provide the product that caused the increase in price. But people just pass on, I guess,
And
their
that's a good point that you've
people
raised.
pass on their costs.
That's
People pass on their costs.
because a couple of years ago, like in the 90s, people still sold a lot of the produce by what we call low. So a heap, you had from a heap of yam dashing. Now
Yeah, it's
everything is
weighed.
weighed.
It's weighed.
It's,
Yeah.
$3 a pound
Yeah.
or whatever. You go and buy a soursop, it has to be weighed, and they tell you, well, this is what it's going to cost you. Unlike before, you just went by the neighbor, they were selling dashing or whatever it is, and you purchased a heap. If it's $7 or $10, but everything has changed. People have said that it's the Haitian, that the influx of Haitian in the agricultural industry that have made the changes, that now everything is now comes with a unit price. But the other thing I wanted to raise too, I lived on St. Kitts. I lived on St. Kitts for more than 10 years. And one of the things that always marveled me about living in St. Kitts when I did was to see the advancement of such a small country without income tax. You do not pay income tax in St. Kitts. And I always wondered, Why, so for example, the average Kitishan, and that has been there since I was living there. Christmas time, the government has always paid double salary. They've gotten double salary. The government around Christmas time gives a no VAT day,
Mhm.
so you don't pay VAT on whatever products and whatever. Then they still have free import of barrels and whatever it is around that time.
The duty free
Now,
concession.
what you saw, what was happening, and what has happened, what the government have seen, people spend way back. So all of the monies that they give them, all these concessions that they've
It
given
comes
them,
back into
it
the
comes
economy.
right back into the economy. So in St. Kitts now, if you're working for $4,000 or $5,000, there is no income tax coming out from that. There are other taxes. There is
Yeah,
a social levy. There is whatever it
Because I
is.
was going to tell you, Carlton, the VAT. What is the VAT rate?
17%.
Okay, so they will get it back
Right.
in those other
But
taxes.
it's still a bit less. So you still have, so you will find a Kitishan working for almost the same salary as we do, but then they have more spending power
Okay.
than we do.
Okay.
So, like a typical lecturer in St. Kitts may make a similar salary like a lecturer here, but then they don't have to pay income tax. So then their salary now has a bit more latitude. I've always wondered, what if we were to pilot something like that? How would it work for us? Would it encourage more people to even come home from other Caribbean countries to come home? Because if you look at St. Kitts population now, it's rising because many other people. When I lived there, most of the immigrants came from Dominican Republic and Guyana. There were many Guyanese that were there too. Now, many Dominicans are flocking to St. Kitts and Nevis, and they're telling you that they're doing much better than when they were in Dominica because there is no income tax. And we're seeing that to most of us, the income tax is high on our salaries. We still have hikes every year with Social Security. We pay more money to Social Security every year. I myself have my issues with Social Security because I don't understand. For example, you're not married. You don't have any children, right? But if you were to die now, you have no dependents. All your money stays to Social Security. Why couldn't, if Social Security is seen as an insurance, quote unquote, scheme, why can't you now say, well, okay, I would like to put my mother's name at the back of my Social Security benefits. So if anything happens to me prematurely and my mother is still alive, my monies can actually help to take care of my mother while she's aging and may not be able to buy a diaper. But that's not the case. So can you imagine the number of people that have died in Dominica and all their money stayed at Social Security? The most that they got was a funeral grant and the funeral grant is less than the funeral grant practically is, I think, is less than $3,000. But yet still we ask every year to pay more money into Social Security. How does it really benefit us? I cannot say the last time I personally claimed the Social Security. I cannot say the last time I fell ill and had to get remittances from Social Security. And yet, still, many people who have fallen ill, they come back to work sometimes weeks after weeks and still cannot even get their
Get the
money
Social
back.
Security.
And
Well,
then it affects their loans, it affects their other expenses. You understand? But these are some of the issues that people hardly talk about. But I'm seeing it as a scheme that basically again benefits the government, but not necessarily benefit me.
Carlton, I wouldn't say it doesn't benefit you. You haven't retired yet.
No, but then the fact is, but if I don't, if for
Or
example,
if you
I
don't
were
make
to die
it to,
now, yes,
to
my wife
retirement,
and my children
your
below the age
dependents.
below 18, but once they've passed 18, so and that is the time when the children even need the help more because after 18 they go into university, and that time their little money would come handy to them.
We have a caller.
Good morning to you, caller. Thanks for calling. Good morning, caller. Thanks for calling.
Yes, it's Nadine Carlton.
Yes, ma'am.
what you said a while ago, that is what concerned me for the longest while. Because I am alone. I get my social security every month.
Mhm.
But I work since at the time of National Provident Fund, and National Provident Fund has been transferred
Mhm.
to Social Security. Now, I ask about that same thing you said about if anything, God forbid, were to happen. All the rest of my money is staying for Social Security.
Mhm.
That is true.
Mhm.
I'm not the only one, and you're not the only one thinking of that. That is my problem with them.
Mhm. So it benefits the state and not necessarily you. They
Very
will say it
well.
benefit the state and it will take care of other expenses of the state. But then
Thank
you may
you.
have I may would the same way I have my life insurance policy, the same way I have my life insurance policy and I have beneficiaries behind it, people that I hope to, if I die now, who will get whatever percentage. I think the scheme should be something similar to that. That if something happens to me, if I don't have no children, but I have a godchild or somebody that I really would like to get. If it means that there is a quote of time to say, well, okay, the person can get monies up to such and such a time, but all your money stay into them. Good morning to you, caller. Thanks for
Hello,
calling.
Trudy and Carlton, me again. Remember long ago when you had poor people, when I say people that couldn't afford, remember you had the churches, you would go to them, they give you a thing of, oh, you know what I mean, a little package.
Yes,
The
I
end,
remember that. The Catholic Church
right,
was known for that. You would go
right,
to
the end,
school and you'd come back with your claim, you'd come back with cornmeal, you'd come back. That's what you're talking
Yeah.
about?
yes. And
Yeah.
then
Your
you had some
Russian.
NGOs, these things tied, you'd go there, they'd form a package, give you something to help you out. But now that disappeared to Carlton.
You're
The
correct.
church is struggling. When I say struggling, people hardly put collection. You have your insurance to pay how much money the church. You know what I'm talking about.
It's true.
So everybody's struggling. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So those days they are gone where people give you a little, as I say, go to the churches. That disappear. NGOs disappear, you cannot get. So where do you turn? You understand? I just say let me bring that up.
It's true.
Mm.
And it's really is. I think we've not had a financial show,
Yeah.
financial wellness. We've not had financial wellness in a while because I mean for me, and I'm saying that because someone might say, well, oh truly you have a big job at the state college, but really and truly they don't know your expenses.
Mm.
You might be still paying for your education. You might be you might be paying a mortgage. You might be paying your vehicle and all of that, and people not realizing that all of this quantifies and they
Mhm,
come
mhm.
with a cost. So
But Carlton, on our show last week, we had someone from the insurance company, and he spoke about financial planning and financial literacy and how we really need to get more into that. And I really agree.
mhm.
And this budgeting rule of 50% for your needs, 30% for your wants, and 20% for saving. It was a very interesting concept. I'd never heard of it
Mhm.
before. It's one of those financial planning concepts. And, I really wondered, I thought about it for the rest of the week. How are we, are we
Hmm.
really able to do that, and if we try hard or if we're super resourceful, can we do 50, 30, 20, 50 for our needs, 30 for our wants, and 20% to put aside for a rainy day?
It
I
is.
see we I
It
see we
is.
have
It is.
several
It is.
people calling.
Yes.
Let's take some
Good
calls.
morning to you, caller. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good morning, sir,
Good morning to you, ma'am.
and your co-host.
Good morning.
Good program.
Thank you.
Carlton, let me tell you, Social Security have a lot of members that may be even promoting that scheme because when they had asked the Dominican people that have small business to register with Social Security, and the people and them use their money and do whatever they had to do for Social Security, and up to this present time, it have a lot of people that don't get nothing from the government. So I believe a lot of people not on that Social Security scheme again.
But I think now it's mandatory that they're making it mandatory that whether you're self-employed, you have to
Social
be registered
Security.
in Social Security. They're making it almost mandatory.
But okay, You have to register Social Security, but what about people that are not from Dominica, that work in Dominica? They don't pay taxes and they don't pay Social Security.
Are you sure of that? Because
Yes, I'm sure. If you
when I
have
lived on
people,
St. Kitts,
I am
I
sure
paid.
of that. And if you have Dominicans that work in these people, they're taking their money for Social Security and they are not paying the Social Security money.
Well, I know for a fact when I lived on St. Kitts, I paid Social Security, and one of the things that was said to me is that they could transfer all of the monies that I had paid into the Social Security scheme to my Dominica
Social
social. Yes,
Security.
I know that there is this kind of things. I know that for a fact. But we have so many callers. Let's
Let's
take
take
this
some
caller.
more callers.
Good morning to you, caller. Thanks for calling. We missed you.
Let's take another
Let's take
caller.
another caller. Good morning to you, caller. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good morning, guys.
Good
How you
morning.
doing? Yeah, Carlton, the aspect of cost of living in Dominica, bro. I mean, it's horrendous, but I think more health education can make people lighten their food bill, because I mean, Dominica's the bottom is that you need flesh every day, you need meat every day. Carlton, it takes 72 hours for meat to get digested in your system. You know what I mean? So you eating flesh every day. Most of that flesh just gets putrefied and adds to acidity in your body. It doesn't really add to nutrition. You know, so it's a lot of little things through proper education that people can cut down on the amount of things that they're buying. Also, just doing local. Dominica, there's an absence of local people. I'm not saying go and buy in the market. I'm saying start having more of community gardens. Start growing food. Start growing, because this is going to get worse. The cost of food is not going to go back down, Carlton. It's only going to get worse. you know. And then you have this VAT, and people are afraid to speak, or people have to speak. This VAT thing is killing Dominica. It's killing Dominica, period. It's preventing poor people from having little endemic businesses that they can grow wealth. It's money going to just one sector of the society, and it's just making everything in Dominica just a whole lot more expensive. So part of the solution is people have to address the government. Dominicans seem to remain silent and have this thing in political, and the people's health needs to be addressed, and part of their health is addressing the government to have some better issues. I listen to the parliament. There's an absence of intellect in the parliament. How are we going to grow good policy when you have this caliber of people representing us, but people who have basic diction, the formalities, man, diction, phonics. I don't know what these people are doing down there, but the regular Dominican needs to start looking at Dominica seriously. Because you just have to look at the parliament and you realize we're on a trajectory to destruction. It doesn't matter whether we get an international airport or we get all these fancy hotels. The basic concept of development of country is absent in the parliament. It's totally absent.
Thank you, caller. Thank you for the call. I appreciate your call and opinion. We have another caller. Good morning to you, caller. Thanks for calling.
Yes, good morning, Carlton and Trudy.
Good morning to you.
Listening in, and I'm hearing people talking about people should plant more and whatever. Carlton, I've traveled a little bit, not much. I've gone to St. Vincent and Carriacou and one of those 2 of those islands down there, Grenada. Carlton, in almost every yard, or it's not every yard down there, you see a peas tree and corn growing in this yard. Peas and corn. And on another note, I would like to say that people should not worry too much about Social Security because it's a scheme. That's what it is. When you die, whatever you contribute have to remain in there. Because when I worked for over 20-something years and then or 30 years, and then what they would want to give me, is considered pittance to what I have contributed, because you have to have contributed a certain amount per year for you to be qualified for that particular year. So for the years you do not qualify for, right? They don't pay you on that, based on that. You have 52 weeks, I think it is, and you have to be, if you don't qualify for 52 weeks, so that particular year is not counted in your whatever they're giving you. You understand me? So it is a scheme, and we just need to recognize that. Good afternoon.
Yes, because I'm telling you, if I had a choice, I would not be paying social security. And I'm saying that straight up. I have had every year I get upset with them. Every year when I see the prices just, they increasing every other day. Every year that you're getting an increase, and you realizing really and truly that this doesn't make sense. It's like almost like that money I'm paying, because I know I pay a good amount of money for it. That amount of money could do me well. I'm looking at my income tax money too. And I'm saying, what if those two sets of monies were into my salary? You understand? Because
What would it do?
you were making a very good point with the suggestion of the insurance agents.
Mhm.
And I'm saying, before I had a mortgage, right? Personally, I was saving a real good amount of my money.
Mhm.
Now mortgage came. I can't save that amount of money again on the same one job. You understand?
Mhm.
And then the way the country is, it's a smaller population. You don't have the latitude to just get another job like that.
But
Unless I decide to go and do like everybody else, get a container, buy some drinks by pirates, and put it by the road and
and
sell
sell,
alcohol.
no, Carlton.
And then everybody will say what he was advocating one thing, and then
For
today.
help. No, Carlton, I'm laughing because I'm a strong advocate for how should I say it, soft skills or other skills making money for you, and that is why I'm a very passionate advocate of education and retooling sometimes yourself in other ways. I've found I've found that even if your main profession is X, a lot of us have maybe some skill that could give us a why, what people call the side hustle. Sometimes when you analyze it, it may not be worth it really to engage in the side hustle. I remember in my life I've done things like sell cheesecake, for side money. Right now I'm doing radio, but sometimes it's just worth it to see what else can you do apart from your qualified
Mhm.
profession. And I think more and more it is becoming important to do that. And that's why I am big on selling these skills training things that sometimes,
Mhm.
we have, for instance, at the state college, and people talk about, can I do this course and maybe get a side hustle? And sometimes they do. So you do, a plumbing, or you do whatever it is, and you end up having a skill that can maybe give you something. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody, but I am definitely an advocate of being resourceful in this whole work concept. People will be surprised at um, people will say sometimes, oh, as a professional person, whatever, somebody selling this or selling that. But sometimes people do what they have to do to add a little something to their income,
Mhm.
and that's the reality. I find no personal shame in the concept of the side hustle.
So
Me
I come with my
personally,
container.
I
Let's
have
take
I have no personal shame in the side hustle.
let's on Health Vibes we try to be real with you.
Yeah,
And so we speak in we express in our own personal opinions and feelings. But let's take this caller. Um, Good morning to you, caller. Thanks for calling. Okay, we
we
seem to
lost
have
that
lost a few
caller.
calls, but
Yeah.
here, yeah, that seemed to be a very interesting topic. Good morning to you, caller. Thanks for calling.
Yes, you see why I have to cut up myself. My money will be wasting. Um, you'll have to say the program is fine this month. That's my last call for this month. There is what Social Security gives you, your month money or your fortnight money, whatever you work for. They're not giving it to you, you work for it. But here comes a time right now when the amount of money they were giving you before can hardly do what it used to be. It was good at that time because things were down and everything. My bills, my groceries, my everything, and money could still remain on my book. Right now, it's a different ballgame.
Hmm.
And even though they know they don't carry you, even though they know they don't worry, and they have a nonsense saying about they put increase. Quarter cent, what is that? I must. Oh boy, anyway.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, we have another caller. Good morning to you, caller. Thanks for calling.
Morning, Carton and Trudy. How you all doing?
We're doing quite well.
Good. I just tuned into you a while ago.
Yes.
And I'm listening to Trudy telling how she don't sell liquor chick place and liquor thing on the side of the road trying to make ends meet. Now she in radio. You know what that called, Trudy? Tenacity. You know, when you have a degree in one area and you tend to just depend on that one degree, you have locked yourself into an area where you can't dig out of. And you mentioned people. You know, the perception that most people look at one another and just impose their beliefs or their way of thinking on a person, that a person should be made to do this or should be like this because they have this and they have that. All that is nonsense out the window, Trudy. I agree with you 100%. And Carlton just made a statement about his savings depleted by him having a mortgage, right? And he was a very good saver. So you have a certain discipline in a certain individual who is going to prosper, right? Mm-hmm. And that means goes for you and Carlton. And I can say for myself, I've done the same thing that you spoke of, Trudy. As a little boy, I was pretty kind of into making my own hustle when I was living in Dominica. And when I left Dominica, that stayed with me. Okay, a professionally trained auto technician. I do body work, some mechanical airbags and all the stuff. Learn the computer because nowadays you have to learn a computer if you're doing cars. A body man that you know long ago ain't the same body man. There are some of them hanging around. All they're doing is messing people's cars up. But my point is, when I left Dominica and I moved away, I carry that same mindset with me. So when the area that I was in gets slow, I do other things. I knew guys who used to do renovation. And while my automotive work was on a down slope, they would say, hey, you want a job? And you know, I would not really tell the truth. I said, man, I could do that, man, because I watch what they do over and over again. And some of it is not too far from what I'm doing. I'm building, I'm tearing down, I'm building. And I did that with a lot of them guys. And you know, sometimes I became kind of amazed by myself how easily I was able to adapt. And these are the things that you are teaching people to do now, because people just want to be pigeonholed in one area, and you don't necessarily have to lock yourself into one thing.
Thank you, caller.
It's called survival. It's called entrepreneurship. It's called whatever one you call it is all positive. You're a winner when you be able to do that. Thank you. I'm listening. Great conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. So I agree. It's sometimes you have to branch out into other things, and life sometimes gives you opportunities that if you're willing to grasp them, you'd be surprised where they can take you. You have to position yourself well, and you have to be tactical. That is what I like to say, and I like to give young people that advice in particular. You have to be tactical in how you move, how you network, and how you know the opportunities that you will see and how you grasp them. You mightn't be able to grasp all, but you might grasp a few that will lead you somewhere, somewhere different.
All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a short break, and then we will climax today's episode of Health Vibes.
Who say health cannot have vibes? Well, Jolly's Pharmacy is proving you otherwise. With Health Vibes, every Wednesday morning on Q95 from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Health Vibes, education, information, and a bit of humor. And not forgetting lots of vibes. Hosted by Carlton Langdo, with co-hosts Jacinta Fagan Defoe and Trudy Kristen. Jolly's Pharmacy is bringing health and vibes together every Wednesday, so be sure to tune in. Health Vibes every Wednesday on Q95 from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
Introducing Jolly's Pharmacy, brand new website www.jollies.tm. It's your time to jump the line. Shop now at jollies.tm and have your items delivered in the comfort of your office. No more standing in line. No need to use your lunch hour to shop. Hassle-free shopping, safe and secure. Jollies.tm features rush delivery, 1 hour. In-store pickup, regular delivery, 5 p.m. Cut-off time, 4 p.m. It's your time to jump the line. Visit us at www.jollies.tm. Jollies Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
Who say health cannot have vibes? Well, Jolly's Pharmacy is proving you otherwise. With Health Vibes every Wednesday morning on Q95 from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Health Vibes, education, information, and a bit of humor. And not forgetting lots of vibes. Hosted by Carlton Lango with co-hosts Jacinta Fagan Defoe and Trudy Kristen. Jolly's Pharmacy is bringing health and vibes together every Wednesday, so be sure to tune in. Health Vibes every Wednesday on Q95 from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
So we're back with you. We just have 3 more minutes with you. It is 11:27 Eastern Caribbean time, and I know today we just brought that topic up. As I said, we had a very spicy topic that we wanted to bring about today, but then we have to postpone it for a bit later because we really want that particular guest to be on when we do that topic. But I see we have another caller. Let's see what this caller has to say. Good morning to you, caller. Thanks for calling.
Carlton, my last thing, don't say I'm troublesome.
No, you're not.
What I'm saying, you see, we're looking at the hypertension and so cut down on the sugar. That's very good. But look at that, should remember we said we have to try to eat healthy. But then that is health, as we're going to have another health problem. No, if you're working, sometimes you could be working and whatever you have to pay, you see you haven't got enough to pay that. You know that can cause too, Trudy and Colton, you can get depressed.
Mental health,
And depression, sometimes you can begin to say, well, I'm going to kill myself. That's another problem. Not so truly, Carlton.
That's true.
So you have this, while you're working, yes, but what you have cannot afford to be your head start to hurt you. So two things, I'm not saying everybody think of that, but you might go on a drug and say start to smoke because things, so then you have another health issue. So you see, it has to be a holistic approach.
That's true. Very true. That is very, very true.
Yes. So the mental health aspect of things and is definitely one, and we've spoken about it in the past. Economics, people's finances definitely do take a toll on their mental health and create stress and undue pressure on mental health. So it's so critical to be very cautious about how we approach certain things and what we allow to take up space in our mind.
And another argument as well can also be the population. People are truly young professional people now are really planning their families. They will tell you, I am not ready to have a child. And if I do have one, it's 1 or 2. You hardly find professional people with 4 and 5 children.
Yeah.
So people, because once you have a child, I have 3 at home. I am already thinking of university, higher education. How do I plan? How do I prepare for higher education for these children? And so that is how people are thinking. And then that's where again so we're talking about, or governments have spoken about, the population needs to grow. But how are you going to feed 5 children, 4 children, and give them the best life? A better life than you had, and to ensure that you have things in place to secure their future, at least to get them to do their first bachelor's degree. And at least when they get the bachelor's degree, they can find their way to get a scholarship to do the masters and so forth. And hoping that, because many of us, we may still, our children will get to university and we're still paying mortgage. And we're hoping that at some point we know that based on the dynamics of your family, the house is for your children. Sometimes they will take on their own graces and say, Mom, Dad, you've paid enough. I have a good job now. I'm going to take over the mortgage and give you a break. But if you're lucky, you might. Sometimes you don't. I've seen people, grown people who have almost retired and even retired, almost on the verge of losing their house still. You understand? So it's a lot of variables in this discussion, and I think it's fine for the leaders to make things look so bright and to say all these things, but then at the end of the day, the reality is knocking on everybody's door. That's the reality. You understand?
But and Carlton, I will say this though, there is another aspect of this that I want to mention, and it is sometimes people misconstrue this what I'm going to say, but the need to prioritize. I still see a lot of wastage on what I feel sometimes is unnecessary, unnecessary things. I see a very strong culture of CO.
Oh yes.
A very, very strong culture of abuse of alcohol, abuse of drugs, all which costs money.
Very true.
I see a very strong culture, in certain consumer items like the phones and some of the things that I know cost a lot of money, and people prioritize those things over certain things. So it's also a time where, in speaking about all of this, the economic downturn, high inflation, the struggle for mental health, stability in this type of time, it's also a time to look at prioritization as well. And I really hope that that particular comment, some people don't misconstrue it, because I am distinctly concerned that sometimes, Carlton, you're speaking about, for instance, thinking of education of your children, that some people are not prioritizing that. Some people would prioritize something else, so prioritize the tickets for the CO, but they would not prioritize what about the education of the child in the future. Should I maybe save that for their university, if they want to go to university in the future? You know what I mean? So I also see that as something that people have to consider as well. What are your priorities? What is it that you want? If you want a good life for your children, if you want a good life for whatever, and what can you prioritize to make sure that some of those things happen? Because I like over the weekend, Carlton, I was very troubled. I went out on Sunday to pick up some items in town, and I saw people ready to go on a CO day, and people drinking. It was 11:30 in the morning. And the amount of drinking I saw in the streets of Roseau, that is people priming up themselves to go out. And I said that on a Sunday. So we also have to look at that. What are we prioritizing? And I feel strongly about that, particularly for young people. Because young people now, we are this young people. I don't want to say we, not me. I'm not in that category of youth. But young people at the start of this financial journey that we're talking about there. And you already prioritizing badly. So what will that mean for your future if you are already prioritizing poorly,
Awesome. I share the very same sentiments as you. And I think what a nice statement to close. Well said, very relevant, and I think it is one that all of us should be thinking about. All of us should be thinking about. I'm very happy that we had this discussion today. It wasn't planned, but I'm very happy, and we recognize that our listeners enjoyed it, and many people called and made contribution. But we have to leave you this time. So, as always, your health is indeed your greatest resource. Preserve it. Have a good morning, everybody, and continue to have a blessed week. Until next time, I'm your host, Carlton Lando.
and Trudy Christian.
All right. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
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 Say health cannot have vibes. Well, Jolly's Pharmacy is proving you otherwise. With health